Good afternoon, everyone. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. If everyone would make sure that they are muted down the lower left-hand corner of your logins or your Ring Central screen, you have a mute button there. I will leave plenty of time at the end for questions and answers. So if you could go ahead and mute yourselves until that point, that'd be great. That will reduce any feedback and other distractions while during the presentation. Also, a reminder that we are recording this. We hope to use this for those who couldn't be here today, and also to send out to other dealers and customers. So just so you are aware that we are recording this for today. Welcome to the Ultra 6 reveal. A lot of the research time and creativity and testing has gone into Ultra 6. And so we hope you find that this is something worthwhile. And again, if you all could make sure you are muted, that'd be great. And my name is Damon Palmer, and I'll be your Millennium presenter for today. I'm going to talk about a lot of exciting new features, as well as modules, integrations, and of course, functionalities. And as each of those come up, I hope you'll be as impressed as I was when I first saw some of these for the first time. Well, let's start right off with the two-factor authentication. Ultra 6 allows for two-factor authentication for all operators logging into the software. You can use any freely available authenticator, such as Google Authenticator, to generate the code. And then you'll enter the code into the login field when prompted, and then you'll be authenticated. So let's see how that works. So on the left, I'm sharing my phone. And here in the center, I'm going to go ahead and open my instance of Millennium. Supply my credentials. And just as many of you are probably already experienced with two-factor authentication, you'll just use the code that's been generated before it expires, and then you're allowed to log in. So again, this gives you an extra layer of protection, both on your instance of Millennium on your computer, as well as on your cell phone. That's why I have two, if you notice up there on my phone, one for both. So either place, you'll have that authentication. The next area I'd like to show you is operator rights by report type. And this is an ongoing, basically listening to our customers and asking them what kinds of things that we could add to the product. In this case, operator security has been expanded to include grant or deny rights by report type. And this way you can limit confidential information from either an operator level or a particular operator by changing their grant or deny rights by report type, which I'll show you in a couple moments. All the modules can also be segregated as part of this upgrade, module by module, to grant or deny rights to different segments of each of those modules. Well, let's see how this works. In our open edition here, I'm going to go to System Administration, and I'm going to go to Operator Levels. And just as an example, I have created what I call Front Desk Basic. And this just gives us an idea of someone who's operating at the front desk of an office building or at a hotel or even at a condo or apartment building. Basically, you have all the same rights that you've always had to be able to discriminate between, whether you're able to add a new site or not. But if you located across the top, you'll see that a lot of our modules are now all been segregated, that you can provide separate grant and deny access for each of the different modules, as well as reports. So now the reporting security has been broken up into report types. So for this front desk person, we don't need them to have access to the cardholder reports. We don't need them to have access to configuration reports. We want them to be able to see certain event reports, like an event report or the alarm history, for example, and also to be able to see things like door statuses and whether things are online or offline. They don't need to be in time and attendance, but we do want them to be able to see what's going on with the visitors. So this way you can choose between different report types, and within those different report types, you can also select individual ones to turn on and to turn off. So this gives our already high security even more options. So we think this will be a great feature for many of you system administrators that are out there. Next, we have some new modules. And the next one that I'm kind of excited about is the SmartHub Home Automation module, which provides integrated home automation with SmartHub IP modules that are linked to Ultra 6. These are Z-Wave-based products such as outlets or switches or thermostats or weak water leak detectors, things like that, that can all be incorporated into Ultra 6 through the SmartHub. You can link these to hot commands, to alarm inputs, to door and floor relays, and even time periods. So let me go ahead and show you how that works. And as you can see here on the left, I'm using the client web app. And again, can be brought right from your desktop from a saved instance of Millennium Ultra. And as you can see here, I have the hot commands right here on the left here. Okay, so if I zoom in here on this particular kit, you'll be able to see that on the one hand, I can turn the lights off in my studio.
Hey, Tom.
And a hot command,
Yeah.
I can turn the lights back on to my studio.
No,
and then what I can also do is tie in the SmartHub commands directly into my hardware architecture. So here I have a 2-door kit that's been configured with
probably not the way it's been going, huh?
And exit door. And if I present a fob to the exit door, leaving the office, then I can tie in the SmartHub, which will turn on the lights. And then when I enter back in the next day or the next morning, I just present my fob to the entrance door, and then my lights will turn back on. So this gives a good example of the smart home integration that can be incorporated into hot commands or into door and reader relays. And the object management module basically allows you to track any kind of assets that are checked in or out, such as from a spa or concierge or basically any type of business. You can also track washable assets like spa or beach towels, which can also be tracked and checked in over time. These assets, you can actually sew in an actual sensor built right into the hem of the towel, and those can be washed over and over again. So you can track towels, you can track all kinds of different things. Then reports can be printed to give a listing of assets that have been returned or not returned, allowing for reminders or for billing. So basically, any asset you want to track, whether it be a bike, a lounge chair, or anything like an umbrella, whatever it happens to be, you can track those and get instant inventory reports, which will tell you whether your item is either in inventory or it has been checked out and by whom. Residents or guests have the convenience of checking their things in and out with their own smartphone credential. And then staff can get a report to either send reminders to return items or to bill residents or guests as needed when items are not returned. So we think this will be a great feature for a lot of different businesses, and I was really excited to see that this one was included in Ultra 6. All right, let me go ahead and move into our new integrations. The first one is the Avigilon integration, and the Avigilon integration has been done with Avigilon Control Center 7 VMS for streaming and alarm conditions both. Integrated cameras can be used in Ultra 6 in features such as mapping, alarm inputs, door and floor relay activity, etc. And video clips from these activities and alarms are always automatically saved into Ultra 6's historical log. So let's take a look at what that looks like. And let me switch over to the software. So again, as we bring cameras into the system, you will check on those under the cameras. And once you have verified that each of your cameras has been integrated properly with your VMS, they will appear here in the setup screen. Once you have live video, you're free to use those in Maps. And this is, again, in the very enhanced feature, the Maps feature, which you can use any kind of a floor plan, you can use a site plan, and essentially you can drop elevator floors that can be remotely unlocked, you can drop doors on here that can be unlocked, and also all of your integrated cameras can be seen right from this one page. And it will show up right here live, and this will give you a great situational awareness to a site and allow you to manage things from one central screen. Another way that this can be used is through tying it into an alarm or into a condition on the system. And then you'll notice here that a couple things have happened. One is I was granted admittance to a door. You'll notice also that right here in this line that an email was sent out. So you can tie integrated alarms and cameras directly to an email notification within Millennium Ultra 6. And also at the bottom of our alarms, you can see that it actually did produce a video link from the VMS integration. And I can see here about 5 or 6 seconds of prelude. And then it will show you the actual activities that took place behind the scenes while you guys were watching my screen. And this allowed for it to be recorded. And then after the event, you'll notice that there's 5 or 6 seconds of postlude as well. And then if you're reviewing this over time, you may want to compare what's going on that same camera, and it gives you the option to choose live video, so you can compare what happened in the event to what's actually happening there live right now. So it's a great little feature. And again, in addition to our integration line, which is the Avigilon ACC7 VMS integration. Another new integration this year is the Mercury controllers. And our Mercury controllers, are designed for a mixed-use architecture when you're taking over a site that needs to expand and they want to move to Millennium controllers. And this is becoming a bigger issue now as the current supply crisis. Mercury controllers have an 8 to 12 week lead time, maybe even longer. So if it's a situation where you have a property that's using Mercury boards with what needs to add doors, then you can convert them over to Millennium, add the new Millennium controllers in a mixed architecture. And all these controllers from Mercury can be flashed with Ultra 6, and they will have full functionality from within Ultra. So again, here, basically just as, again, any door, I'm showing you this to show you that right along with all of your Millennium controllers, any Mercury controllers that were taken over will show up right here in your device map. And you can use them just like you can any other device and just click on them to unlock doors. And you can also use them for many other features as well. And now you can see here that this is an example of our web administrative app where you can actually link up directly to your software instance. Just as I left the one on the computer in the background. And then of course I've got my phone minimized in the landscape mode for you to see. So basically anything that I have access to, I can do right from my phone, including hot commands, for example. And if I scroll down to the Mercury door, I can hit unlock and then send the command to unlock. And you can see in the background that it opened that door. So essentially anything that can be done with a Millennium controller can also be done with a Mercury controller. So if you have a situation where you're looking for a mixed architecture solution or whether they're not able to get any more Mercury boards and they want to go with Millennium, this would be a great solution for them. The next item is our ATMA controllers have been integrated into Ultra as well. Our Synergistics ATMA controllers are now able to be integrated directly into Ultra 6 while still retaining the remote access configuration and monitoring capabilities that they have now. ATMA controllers, basically ATMs, so these are basically for vestibule security, utilize skim assure technology to detect skimmers and to alert operators to cut wires, tampering, and other security alarms, and sends it back to Ultra 6 as an alarm. In addition, the smartphone NFC credentials that were built into the original ATMA controllers are also now native to Ultra 6 and will continue to work as part of the integration. So essentially, we're bringing the ATM vestibule security into line with all of the entire bank system as a whole, so that now we have a complete solution under Ultra 6 for both the ATMA controllers and the new Millennium controllers. So that's one solution under one umbrella. And now we also have some new functionalities, and this one is license plate recognition. Both Avigilon and Milestone CCTV integrations add automatic license plate recognition to Ultra 6. So from cardholder and vehicle records in Ultra, analytics from the ALPR cameras will identify the plate and compare it to a list of plates from the record base. And then when matched with an authorized plate and cardholder, the gate will open for them. And I'm going to introduce now Vlad Nekrachovic, who's our chief software engineer, and he's going to show us exactly what that looks like. Vlad, you want to go ahead and share?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. You can see my screen, I hope.
It's probably. There you go,
do you
Vlad.
see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay. We have our parking module, which requires separate parking module license. And in parking module, you can create car records for cardholders' cars, and identificator, it's a license plate number. And you will give access to the door or to the gate for this car record, and additionally you need to assign CCTV camera to the correct door. And now I will clear all events. So, and if this is the camera, and I will move camera to some license plate number. And how you can see, as soon as we have a license plate number in the camera, the CCTV found match for the license plate and door is open. This is how the license plate recognition integration works with Ultra software. It works right now with Avigilon and with Milestone.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Vlad. That was perfect.
No problem.
All right. So whether it's daytime or nighttime, you'll get accurate access control with either an Avigilon or a Milestone integration with automatic license plate recognition. Great new add-on functionality. Another one that is, I think, is a great new addition is our ID scanner. And this one is used through the visitor module. Let me go ahead and move here. So you can quickly and easily scan any ID or driver's license directly into the visitor module. You can customize the ID scanner to read particular fields like first name, last name, and card number, for example. And you can enter it directly into the visitor module's screens. And also, if you have flagged visitors or blocked visitors in your system, if someone tries to go through this process, they will also be flagged there so that they will remain on the blocked visitor list regardless of whether you scan their ID or whether you enter it manually, either way. Well, let's see what this looks like. Okay, I bring up the ID scanner on my phone and get out my driver's license here, and I will show you this in just 1 second. Okay, awesome. All right, so if we open up the visitor module, you'll see that there's a new button that has been added called Scan Document. And if I click on Scan Document and then look on my phone, you can see that I have my Florida driver's license. If I turn that over on the back, it will scan that information. And as you can see, it fills out my name and my ID number and my address. So now if I just print a visitor badge or if I want to create a credential, I can just move on quickly and I've already gotten all the information and I don't have to type it in at all. It's a great time saver for a gatehouse or for a busy counter. So we think this will be a great feature in Millennium Ultra. All right, now let's move on to the next new feature, which is basically a new product. So our new product today is actually our power supply, and it's been completely redesigned. And let me go ahead and tell you a little bit more about that. The enclosure door now has an LED display built right into the door, which will display the current voltage and amperage of that power supply being supplied at that moment. And I'll show you that in just a second. I think one of the bigger things for many of you installers out there is that this redesign allows for a 1/3 reduction in weight from 27 pounds down to only 18 pounds, including the 2 batteries. So it's a substantial weight loss, which will make it much easier to mount this on the wall with the batteries and everything all included, only at 18 pounds. It still provides the same 12-volt DC as it has in the past with a 13.8 voltage max, providing 2 amps and includes the line conditioner, the battery charger, and the key lock all enclosed inside. And again, here's what it looks like. And again, a very streamlined looking enclosure. It's essentially the same rugged enclosure that you have with the key lock and everything. But as you can see, there is a new feature there, which is the LED screen. And I'm going to zoom in on that so you can see it a little bit closer. And then if you'll keep an eye on the 0.57 amps, I'm going to go ahead and present a credential to a reader. And you should see that pop up by several hundreds up to 0.61 amps. And then it drops right back down to its original 0.57. So you can see immediately how much amperage that the system is drawing on the power supply and also how much voltage is currently being supplied. So either way, it's a great new package, a lot more information, useful information on the outside of the enclosure, so you don't have to open it just to see and put your voltmeter and everything else on it. Everything is displayed right on the cover of the enclosure, and it also weighs 1/3 less. So what's not to like, right? The next new product that we have is our Bluetooth reader. And our Bluetooth reader completes our mobile credential offerings, balancing both convenience and security. On the one hand, our NFC credentials, you had to be literally touching the reader in order to make sure that you were right at the door, versus the convenience of our cellular credentials, which you could open from anywhere on the planet as long as you have a cell signal. So on the one hand, we want to get somewhere in the middle, and that's kind of where the Bluetooth reader fits. The Bluetooth reader can be used anywhere from just a couple inches all the way out to probably 20 or 30 feet. But you can select how strong you want that field to be from the factory before you order it, and we can make those made to measure. Also, it can be used in two different modes, a passive mode and a gesture mode, and I'll show you that in just a couple minutes. The reader is also a 13.56 megahertz MIFARE reader, so it's making the fob basically virtually uncopyable. So it's not the lower frequency 125 kilohertz, and these have been proven to be almost impossible to copy. Well, let me show you the reader. And as I move over to the reader, if you see on the screen on my phone, the credential itself includes an image verification. And so if you're using this on a large facility, this might even replace an ID or a badge. And as you saw, if I hold my phone upright near the reader, it goes into what we call passive mode. So as long as the phone is vertical, it could be in a pocket, it could be in a purse, it could be locked. The phone can actually be locked. And as long as the phone's vertical and you are near a reader, it will continue to read it. As you walk away from the reader, it will stop reading it until you come into the range of another reader. So the question will be whether you want doors to be opened inadvertently when someone walks by or not. And that will be up to the security of the property. But again, if you want intentionality, we could also use what's called the gesture mode, which is where I hold my phone flat and then I tilt the phone up, and it will only open when I make that gesture. So basically the gesture mode shows the intentionality of the desire to go through that door. So you can use it in either passive mode or in gesture mode. And as I mentioned before, it is a MIFARE incorporated reader, and we do have MIFARE key fobs available for sale. And just present those, and you'll move away from the lower kilohertz models. And these readers are now available for sale along with the tokens through customer service. Our next new item is the new gateway. And the new gateway is basically designed to be an IT device that's located on your local area network that includes the Millennium hardware. The gateway is accessible by MGI tech support services to configure a new door kit or an IP controller with use for Ultra 6. It also provides a connection to troubleshoot, diagnose, and fix many common issues. So basically, it solves a couple of different problems. One is that, and here you see a picture of it in the lower left, and you basically connect this up with a Cat5 cable to your local network. On the one hand, it directly uses the Millennium configuration tool in order to connect to all of the controllers that will be on your system, whether they be the IP door kits or whether they be an IP controller. And using certain configuration tools, you are able to configure any door kit or IP controller remotely. And also, if you're having connectivity issues or other things that can be diagnosed by Millennium Tech Support Services, they will be able to dial into the system and help you resolve those issues, maybe even avoiding having to send a van. So this is a great new device that will help new dealers, especially if they're looking to allow Millennium to help them configure door kits or IP controllers, but also with any dealer who's looking to have a little extra level of tech support through using the gateway that they don't have to roll a van. So a great new device, in my opinion. And then one other new device is our 6-door controller. And our 6-door controller it basically expands our door kit line of products to better meet our dealers' needs for space and value. And over the last couple of months that we've been doing training and demonstrations, a lot of our customers have said, well, do you have larger kits? And yes, indeed, we do. So this is a 2-door controller kit that it's basically in the same standard enclosure, and it has a built-in power supply. So it's available as an IP kit, or it's available as an add-on kit with all controllers pre-wired for RS-485 and 12 volt. So if we look here, I can show you that here is the kit. And you'll see that it's essentially in the same 3-door enclosure that we normally sell. However, each one of these 3 boards is a 2-door controller. The bottom one is an NBCD2, which you can tell with the Cat5 connector right here. And then these two are ADCD tubes. So a total of 6 doors. And notice that all the communication wiring and all of the power cabling have already been run between all 3 boards. And then finally, the power has also been run to the power supply. So all you have to provide is a Cat5 cable for your network connection and also a power cable to power up the kit. So now that you're able to put 6 doors in one place, we feel this will be a great new addition to the door kit line. And these are available today through customer service. And now, Vlad, you have a surprise for us.
Yes, I have some surprise information related to our new product, Bluetooth reader. This reader you can use not only with Ultra system. Really, you can use this reader with any other hardware that supports Vigant interface. It means you can do this with Mercury, with S2 panels, with Briva, with any other panels. To issue credentials for our Bluetooth readers, you should use coolblue.mgiaccess.com website, and cardholders should use our Coolblue application, which you can download from Apple Store or Google Play Store. This is very new.
That's a great new feature. Yeah, so we can use it with basically any application that's out there as a universal reader for Millennium. Great news, Vlad. Thank you so much. Well, now we come to the end of our demonstration, and I'm opening the floor up to questions.
Damon Jarrell. Yeah,
Hey,
Damon Jarrell. Just a question: Is that current Bluetooth reader the only Mullion style, the only one you guys currently have? That's the only style available?
At this time, yes, sir.
Richard, can you hear me, Damon?
Yes, I can, Richard.
Okay. We're currently running Millennium 4.0.1.0. Will we be able to update directly to 6.0?
I'm going to let Vlad answer that question, but yes, I believe you can.
Yes, up to 2 versions. If you have version 3, you cannot, but version 4, you will have possibility to upgrade directly to version 6. Yep.
Right. Thank you.
On the 6-door controller,
Yes, sir.
is that available with 3 EDCDs instead of a site controller in there?
Yes, it comes as either a IP kit, like you saw in the screen right now, or it comes as an add-on kit. Yes, sir. Either way.
Perfect. Thanks.
I put this in the chat also. How big of an effort is it to upgrade from the previous version to version 6?
Again, I'll let Vlad answer that question. Vlad?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the procedure completely the same. Just run our update and everything will be updated automatically. Same procedure like between intermediate version updates. If you have Ultra version 5, you just run update and it will go to version 6. It's a very simple procedure, don't require any additional support.
Okay, thank you.
Does that
John.
Bluetooth reader read anything besides Bluetooth credentials?
Yes, it's a MIFARE reader, Bluetooth and MIFARE cards reader.
What's that?
But MIFARE card should be from Millennium. Our readers doesn't work with any other cards, and the card.
What's the actual retail price for the Bluetooth reader?
It's $99. Hello, I have a quick question. Can I ask a quick question?
Of course.
So going from, we also have version 4.0. I can't remember all the details, but we're going to upgrade to version 6, hopefully here in the near future. Is there any operational issues with upgrading during the upgrade time itself? So, for example, we have people that are using existing client applications in the older version. And if we go to 6, will that have any impact until we can upgrade the rest of those client versions to 6 for our users.
Vlad?
No, in Ultra, all clients automatically upgraded when you upgrade server. Next connection and client will be upgraded automatically.
So
You need
all of the
upgrade just
clients are
server.
locally all the clients are locally installed on people's desktops. That automatically updates.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Correct.
I appreciate that.
Yep. We have like a few customers with special corporate security requirements, which using like standalone clients, but it's like 1 or 2 installations only. I don't think it's yours. All other clients automatically upgraded.
Johnny Harms asked a question about multi-door controllers in regard to the 7 IOs. The 7 IOs are available. However, they're split between the 2 doors. So you'll have 4 for one and 3 for the other.
Another question, your 6-door kit is not IP. Does that include a power supply on that kit as well?
Yes, it does. It's identical to the kit you see here on the screen. The only difference is the Lantronix module is removed essentially, and there's no IP connection. But everything else in the can remains the same.
All right, so you could hook a 485. What kind of power does that power supply have on it?
It's a 5-amp power supply, sir.
Okay.
Let me just see if there's anybody on the chat that I missed. I apologize. I'm trying to get through all the chats here. Any other questions that I have? Yes, I think Mr. Harms, you also asked about digital watchdog. Yes. In fact, yes, we do have digital watchdog integration through the Spectrum VMS. Yes, sir. Kathy, there's a question here about the power supplies and the new enclosures and whether they're UL listed. Would you like to address that for us?
Hi, yes, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Yes, the power supplies are fully UL listed. They had just been relisted with our new power supply. So we have a full UL listing label on that.
Okay, thank you. 2N is still a part of Ultra 6. I mean, it's still an integration. Yes, going forward it is. Okay, any other questions?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can, go ahead.
We use Avigilon cameras right now. If we want to integrate it with the new Millennium Ultra, is there any specific model for that integration, or any Avigilon camera will work?
As long as the VMS, the ACC7, recognizes the camera and it has the ability to share the stream that we need to integrate with, then basically any modern Avigilon camera should work. As long as it's recognized by the VMS, we should be able to link it and bring it into Ultra 6.
Okay, and for the ALPR feature, the camera will open the door, or Millennium will?
It's done in concert with one another, but I'll let Vlad answer those particulars. Vlad, could you answer that question?
No, Millennium, you need to have a DCD door controller for this door. Okay. Door opened by Millennium system. You need to have DCD controller to control the door. The Avigilon system send information about plate number matching to Ultra system, and Ultra opens the door through DCD or eDCD door controller.
All right, thank you.
So with the Avigilon though, you have to have the ALPR module for Avigilon as well though.
Correct. You need to have ALPR license, yes. For Avigilon, you need CCTV integration license for Ultra, and you need parking model license for Ultra. Yep.
Okay, so you need ACC7 and the LPR license for Avigilon then.
Correct. Yep.
As far as the tokens, we mentioned that the readers were $99, but the Bluetooth tokens are $3 each per year. So just so we have that pricing out there as well. As far as the minimum door controller version that is needed for a Bluetooth reader, Vlad, you want to address that one? I assume it's an E-series board as a minimum?
No, any door. DCD door will work with our readers too. Just you need to wire this little DCD. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Vlad, what about text notification? We have email notification. We have text notification on our roadmap.
Really, you can use email to send the text notification to your cell phone. Just find out from your phone provider, phone service provider, what kind of email address we need to use to send notification to your phone. We are not going to use any push notification from our system.
Thank you. Thanks, Vlad.
Yep.
And with the new upgrade, is there for the Avigilon integration with the ALPR? Is that add-on cost, or it comes in already as part of the upgrade version? With the license plate recognition part, is that with Avigilon? Is that something that comes already built into the 6th version, or is there an add-on cost?
He wanted to know whether if he wanted to use the Avigilon ALPR module, whether that what the cost was for that, or whether it's just a connection per camera charge.
It's a connection per camera charge, and then if you wanted to use the license plate, it comes in the parking lot module, so you have to pay for the parking lot module. It's one of the features in that module. And then when you get that module, you get all the other features that come with the parking lot module, which is also very interesting. There's a lot of good features in there.
Okay, great. And with the mobile version, is that something that the user can use remotely from anywhere in the world, or is that something that you have to be near the reader so that it can open the door?
Well, it depends. If you're using the cellular credentials, then you can be anywhere. But if you're using either the Bluetooth or the NFC, then you have to be within the range of either the NFC or the Bluetooth, respectively. You can also, if you're using the administrative app that I showed you, you can also remote unlock a door from anywhere that you have a cell signal without using a credential per se, as long as you are an operator of the system. So if you have rights in the system to remote unlock doors, which is built into most of the operators unless you exclude it, then you can remotely unlock any door or any elevator floor from anywhere from your phone if you're a legitimate operator in the system.
Okay, and the mobile credentials I saw you using, you customize this to each user, right? So you had your picture, your employee number, as far as I recall, and other information that pertains to you. I'm assuming that also connects to your badging side of the Ultra side. And can we customize more of the mobile credential? Let's say adding a logo, and instead of employee number, we can put a there you go. Can we put a member number which we use in our property?
Unfortunately, no. Right now, we don't download full badge information to our mobile credential. This is what you have right now on the application. This is just a photo. You can download photos from your cardholder record. No, it will be downloaded automatically, but it's not customized badge right now. Most likely we will add this functionality in next version, but right now you just have badge number, cardholder first name, last name, and cardholder image.
Okay, and one last question: are you only using the mobile credential just with your readers, or are you going to open it to other readers? Let's say the Signal readers.
No, only with our readers.
All right, I got a request to take a look at the. One of the questions was, what does the inside of the power supply look like? So hold on, let me go ahead and open that. Can you see that, sir?
The battery backup is the same life cycle as the other batteries.
The same batteries you could use before. I just picked these up locally, but yeah, you could connect up any 2 security batteries like normal that you can with the PS1 that you've been using for years. Yes, 2 amp max output. Okay, any other questions?
On the smart functions, are you planning to do an interface with Alexa or Siri for to communicate with the SmartHub or the boards?
That's a question for Vlad. Vlad, can you field that?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yes, this is in our roadmap for sure. Our SmartHub application will be registered with Alexa. Yeah, for sure. No, Alexa and Google Home, I think, like first version, and after we'll see who will request it. Yeah.
Luis, maybe you could clarify your question about analytics.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if there was any more updates on the the current analytics with the new version of Ultra.
No, we don't have any updates for our dashboard and analytics. We're going to work next year, and I hope we will release something more significant in version 7.
But if there's something that a customer needs, Luis, if there's something or the panel needs, we will be looking at adding that as we need it to get particular jobs. No problem.
Thank you.
Let's make the recommendations.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Our company, I think, big advantage that we very open to any suggestion, customization from customers. And if you have some special jobs which require special functionality and special integration, we always ready to review and find our resources to help you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
One more question on the power supply. So it's only 2 amp out. The old PS1 was 5 amps.
The power supply is UL listed at 2 amps.
The old one was also listed at 2 amps. The old power supply was UL listed at 2 amps.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, thank you all for your attention today. But I hope this was very informative. We have put a lot of time and creativity and effort into Ultra 6 and all of its various integrations and functionalities. We are listening to our customers. So we thank you all for sending in ideas and continuing to help us hone our product into the great product that it is and will continue to be for many years to come. So again, thank you for your attention and have a great day.
Damon, thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Damon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Guys,
Bye-bye.
have a good day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.